Divine Spirit and gracious Creator, we're all here to open ourselves up unconditionally to your divine assistance and continued direction. As well as receiving your healing and guidance, we are fully open and ready to receive and notice signs and blessings. We are truly grateful and thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Please settle your minds and focus on your crown chakra. And when you are ready, open it for Spirit to supply you with its source of energy. As it enters your crown chakra, allow it to rebalance all your chakras, starting with the crown chakra, moving on to the brow chakra, down to the throat chakra, and then onto the heart chakra. Carry on working its way down to the solar plexus chakra, further down to the sacral chakra, and then down to the root chakra. Allow the spirit energy source to visit all your minor chakras to maximize our potential in this circle. Let the energy settle in your body, and when you are ready, move your focus back to your heart chakra and start linking with all other members of this circle unconditionally. Set your intentions on the task we agreed, please, to maximize our ability to make the links to spirit that we need to achieve. We've come together on the earth plane with the purpose of receiving answers to our questions from our spirit guides and advisors that are happy to link with us. Would like to start by introducing members of our circle here tonight. My name is Neil, and with me today is Pam, Chris, Adrian, Claire, and Donna. I would like to welcome all members of the Spirit Circle and we thank you for believing in us. As we try to lift our energy levels sufficiently to enable you to bridge and make contact through our mediums, we are focusing and offering you the opportunity to link through us. Please link directly through your choice of medium, and if you are happy to link through another medium at the same time as another soul from Spirit does, please do so. Where possible, we respectfully appreciate confirmation that we have achieved a successful link through either a sense of doing so or even more grateful to hear the spoken word itself. As we try to lift our energy levels in our own circle and with the help of our own guides and others in spirit, we do look forward to making the connection to the spirit circle. When we have achieved that, could you confirm when you are ready for questions to be put to you, please? Help us to help you. Focus on your heart chakras, share your love, and then focus on the flame.
Greetings to you all.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Have you blended enough?
Still blending.
Okay, I'll wait. Thank you.
We are ready to speak.
Okay, thank you. Welcome to our circle.
Thank you.
What name would you like to go under tonight, please?
My name is Imrahan.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Imrahan.
Immahan, okay. To start, would you like to describe one of your fairly recent lives, if there is one, that you had on the Earth plane? That's if you did have a life on the Earth plane.
Indeed. I would describe one of my lives as sand people, the sand people.
Okay, would that
On
be
the
in
sand.
Arabia?
Yes, in the desert, yes.
Okay. How long ago would that have been, Imran?
Some 400 years.
Wow. What gave you pleasure in that life?
My many children and wives.
How many children did you have then, and how many wives?
13 children. I had 8 wives. I was a very blessed man.
How did you cope with 8 wives?
As you would say, multitasking.
Were there many disagreements between the wives?
Except you.
And was it difficult to act as the mediator?
Very much so.
But you didn't do so bad then if you had 13 children, so
Things work themselves out.
yeah. That's very different to life today here, isn't it?
Indeed, yes.
What was the hardest thing you had to cope with in that life?
Losing my parents.
Okay.
My father was a very wise man and taught me all I knew. I lost him when I was quite small.
But did all families live together and help one another, all the relations?
Yes, a great deal of support and help, yes,
Okay, so you lived as one, really.
indeed.
Oh, that's good. That's good. What's the biggest lesson that you learned during that life?
Mm. To be humble, be grateful for all you have, and to have your loved ones close.
Were you naturally like that, or did you have to learn to be like that?
I had to adapt,
Yeah.
had to adapt. Not always come naturally. My wife's taught me much. Very wise ladies.
So when you return to spirit, is that one of the main reasons why you lived that life, why you wanted to experience that particular life?
I did indeed. I now
Okay,
help.
good.
I now help one of you.
Yeah,
I am honored to help and to guide.
we're honored to be led by people like yourselves, or spirit like yourself, sorry.
We find you as a collective,
Yeah,
extraordinary people. You make the spirit world very proud indeed. You shine your light very bright. I do hope you are proud of yourselves.
we're learning, as you do, we're learning.
Adapting and learning, yes.
Yeah.
You're very gracious.
Imran, go on, sorry.
No, do
You
carry
finish.
on.
All I want to start, I can jump into the questions if you don't mind, but
I shall answer if I can, yes.
good, thank you. Do most souls who come into a human vessel end their life on the earth plane completing all that they came here to learn? For the majority, I know some obviously don't, but
Indeed, you did answer this yourself, the majority. But there always are a few
yeah,
that say are hesitant and I would use the word stagnant, stay, yes, if that makes sense.
it does in a way because obviously with what I've been exposed to, knowledge, if you like, some spirit will come to the earth to play the part in other people's lives and let's say stir things up. So you could say if they stirred things up and that was planned, they achieved what they came here to do.
Indeed, yes.
If you if you understand where I'm coming from there, so
I do, yes.
yeah, good, thank you. Going to be a little bit flippant with the next one. So, is living a life on the earth plane just like taking part in a serious board game? We play board games. Is it a bit of a game? The management of it from spirit.
I would say that those on the earth plane observe it that way.
Okay.
It's no gain to spirit. No.
The only reason I put it like that was obviously different individuals are subjected to different trials and tribulations, albeit they're, they're as such to let them experience what they had to experience.
Yes, I do understand. Yes.
Yeah.
It does come
So
across this way.
that's why I was trying to say in a roundabout way, a bit like a board game. Here you go, roll the dice, see what happens,
All a game of
and deal
chance.
with it. Yeah.
Indeed.
Looking back, I could say I know various people, and you think, they got through that.
Much
But I'm
determination.
pleased to hear that. Yeah, I'm pleased to hear that the majority of souls who come here to experience a life achieve what they came to do. So it doesn't always seem like that, particularly on how willing at the minute. So okay. Are you happy with me carrying on with random type
I can stay
questions,
a little
Imran?
while, yes.
Okay. Recently, I read something. I just want to ask if you're allowed to answer, but is the location of what is being referred to as the Welsh Atlantis actually connected historically to Atlantis, or is it just someone's whim?
Hmm. Um, I'm just listening a moment.
Okay, fair enough.
I am being advised that I am being told that I can't answer this one.
Okay, fair enough. I'm
Sorry,
used to that,
come
so
on.
that's not a
I
problem.
do have to listen
That's
to
not
my guides as well.
okay. Thank you. Do life planners exist in spirit to design and produce the the life plans for souls who come to the earth plane? You know, they plan everything down to how everyone interacts. So they're living their life, but they're also being part of other people's lives. So are there
Mm,
spirits that work on that planning?
this is an interesting one, yes. There is a plan for all. Let's say it's all mapped out
Yeah.
to each individual. Indeed.
I'm presuming it would take a lot of careful planning, you know, for it to be effective.
Yes, there are many battles with many that wish to return. You understand what I mean? The path that some have wanted to lead when they returned to
Yeah,
the other plane.
yeah. But presumably the plans can be affected by the players in the plan by maybe making diversions.
I was about to say, it does not always go the way
Yeah.
that we would like. Yes,
Presumably that's where our guys come back in and they have to try and maybe help pull it back on track for that particular soul.
let's say level out the playing field.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, thank you.
I feel you know a lot of these answers yourself, Neil.
I only know what I've been exposed to. I can't say um, my questions are designed for other people to hear who may not have thought about such things. So that's why I like to ask some of them.
Indeed, yeah.
Okay. When we have our life reviews on our return to spirit, who appraises us on our achievements and non-achievements? And are we allowed to appeal any decisions?
As you know from teachings, from your one of your
Yeah,
teachers, shall we say, a life review, which I'm sure you've heard of.
yeah.
Hmm. I'm being told to answer carefully.
Okay.
You are greeted by elders, which I'm sure you have heard of many
Yeah.
times. You are all assigned an elder. I am allowed to say this much. They are your guiding light.
Yeah.
Yes.
Evening.
Good
So do
evening.
they just, hello?
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I feel very well. How about you?
Very well, thank you. I just needed to step on that, what you just asked. Because every human is put on the earth and the plan's been put there in place for the soul to learn. It's like a timestamp.
Yeah.
When we pass and our time within that vessel has come to an end, we can take the knowledge and help put the information through that we've learnt to help guide other souls that are looking for the same path and journey.
Does that knowledge help the other souls on their journeys? For them to want to do it themselves, or is it just a question of them being able to understand it better?
They understand things, but they're guided to do things a little different. So the path
Okay.
and the understanding of the third dimension is just a little bit different because it's very complex. But we
Confirm
learn
what you
from,
meant by. Sorry, you carry on first.
we learn from you as you learn from us.
Yeah.
We're all the same. But obviously, through the realms when we've passed from your dimension,
Yeah.
doesn't always transmit, so it's lost interpretation.
Okay.
So the guides are here to help make the soul in the vessel choose the path that is suited for what it's chosen.
Okay. Yeah.
And the
That
name's
makes sense.
Bradshaw.
Sorry, did you say your name was Bradshaw?
Yes,
Right, thank you. Saves me asking it.
I knew you was
You must.
going to ask. I could feel it.
Well, I was going to make a joke and say you must be psychic. Okay, there you go. Thank you for that, Bradshaw.
No
Now, you
problem.
mentioned a third dimension. Can you tell me what the first, second, third, and fourth dimensions represent, please? If you're allowed to.
It's difficult for people to understand, but the best way to do it is the basic, simple way of mass, solid, mass, water, air.
All right, okay.
These are your dimensions, what you would understand.
Yep.
But collectively, that's what builds the world, hence the dimension that the souls and vessels of humans live in.
Is that where we get historically that civilization, maybe like the Aztecs, had ways of combining, air, water, earth, and fire?
If you take all the substances and the natural power of each substances, and if you can
Yeah.
understand it, the answers are shown all the time. And science
Okay.
for today is making people understand what was always known years ago.
So are you saying our scientists are suddenly realizing when they have to look?
They are being guided. That's all I can say on
Okay.
that.
Yeah, fair enough. Is it all right if I carry on with more questions?
That's fine by me.
Okay. When a guide or a guardian spirit is linked to a specific soul, have they had the appropriate experience to support that soul in its pathway? But if they haven't, is it sometimes why lives don't go as planned? You know, there's a blip, what I would call a blip.
You would call it a blip, but you have to remember all as guides, souls are all collectively one. But the human and its capacity of understanding for the brain that they use is adapting and has been slowed down for the reason so the knowledge is learnt over a
Yeah,
period of time. Too much knowledge, which unfortunately some souls and some humans have actually endeavoured together, you would say that these people have gone stir crazy. But it's the mind that could just cannot control the frequencies and the information that is received.
okay. Is that how sometimes the human failing can be that people can make two and two make five? That's like an analogy.
It's the error of the human way.
Yeah, yeah,
It
that's
doesn't
what I
want to
meant.
accept some things, so it will put things in place what it feels that it is correct. So
Yeah,
when you're in
that's a better way of
tune,
putting it. That's
when you're in tune with yourself, the answers are there, but you can understand them. But unfortunately, tuning yourself is not always an easy task.
as we know. I mean, getting in tune with yourself is a challenge in itself, isn't it? So for humans, anyway.
As the human grows,
Yeah,
it can become difficult, but unfortunately, the lifestyle of humans today takes away that ability and something within them. So most people feel that they're lost because they cannot find a
yeah.
way of looking within.
In a way, a lot of people need a wake-up call, but that's easier said than done.
Things have changed and evolved over the centuries. And even when wake-up calls are sent down to change people's views,
Yeah,
unfortunately, it doesn't work. So people will most find the answers that they're seeking, but unfortunately, it's on their final breath.
okay, yeah,
But the key to that is the love around them. And people forget about the simple thing of love and how powerful that is.
yeah. When humans mellow, is that a negative And does it mean they are giving in? What's your view?
Humans never give in. The ultimate design of the human is just to fight, achieve. If you was put into a situation and put somewhere with no food, no water, the natural elements that you've been born with will kick in and you will survive. But unfortunately, the people around you don't like what they see because it's not normal to them.
Is there anything such as normal?
No, because every single being on the planet is unique
Yeah.
and not one is the same.
Okay.
The instincts of animals are similar, but even they do come across problems themselves,
Yeah.
but generally for what made has done.
Bradshaw, can you describe one of your lives on the Earth plane, please? Give me some details, history.
Blacksmith, turn of the 18th century,
Okay.
1824 I passed. Camden,
Where are you a
London.
blacksmith?
Camden, London.
Okay. What did you enjoy about that life?
The people, it was hard. Food was scarce. Our homes were freezing. But we all used to get together, get a loaf of bread, have some soup, make the fire, and just sing, laugh, and love each other, and pray to God for
Yeah.
every day that we were blessed with.
So did people share more then than you've seen now?
Everybody shared, everybody looked after each other. It was a good community back then. And we'd have neighbours and neighbours just come round just to eat, and you would share, and people would help bring some food just so that people could gather together. There was no things like what you have today of many musical devices and things that we see now. Life was quite simple, but life was easy.
So have we made it worse as we evolved?
I would never want to be in the century now. I would go back from where I came from and also times before.
Yeah.
When you're here, you see so much. But humans of today just see themselves for themselves. They're not thinking of just the human race, which is one race, one people. And sadly, that's brought in anger, jealousy, and people fall victim to this. So where we had all love, laughter and fun, there's a lot of hatred, tears and anxiety for people, because people ultimately will just want to fit in, but they feel that they can't.
Yeah.
So we do need a change in the world. And we even know that this pandemic that was happening just not long ago should have helped change people's thought process. But sadly, the fast pace of life as it is today, things carry on as they did. So lessons are not always learnt.
Yeah, I can acknowledge that. I myself can acknowledge that. So where did we go wrong? What caused that?
Greed.
Okay.
Mankind of ambition is greed. And it's not for the people of the lands. It's the people that unfortunately are in charge of the lands. And to be fair, it is no one's land. It's everyone's land.
Yeah.
But things will never change now.
Well, hopefully they'll evolve to something better than now.
We can all pray.
I mean, in spirit, are you able to observe future time zones, Bradshaw? Anywhere on any planet?
It's all connected, yes. But some things, even what we're allowed to do, are forbidden. Or we do push boundaries. But we still get blocked out from certain aspects, even here.
Okay, that makes sense to me. I mean, I was going to ask you if you could see what's going to happen. What's the point in guiding us now if you know the outcome? So, but what you're saying is you don't know the outcome.
We only guide people
Yeah.
to choose a path that's good for them,
Okay.
that works with them, and encourages them. When you get a small community of people together, and friends, and people who build relationships, you see the love and the laughter.
Yeah.
And we guide people to do this. But it's like everything. Some people are put into situations, and unfortunately it changes the path that was set, not always by their own choice, but through the choice
Yeah.
of others.
Okay. So in a way, you're describing that what your role is to try and bring as much happiness into human personalities' lives. Is that right?
It is. It's just about giving them hope and the love. Because most people, when they pray, will always say, please, Lord, help me to help them.
Yeah.
And that is what is important, because it's the person that passes the love and their values on to each other, which comforts people, and can change a person's day or a moment
Yeah.
in a time of life that can be difficult. But that is just the human nature, which is what we do nurture and we push and we try to help.
So is that the pure essence of a soul?
A soul will do many things. If you were here at home, it will just guide. And you can guide many, many souls that are on the earth plane. But we do also work together collectively,
Yeah.
because here is just about peace. It's one, it's united, it's energy, it's love, it's everything's pure. And obviously when people do come back here from their time, the vessels below, we do get to understand, because obviously times are changing. And even though we are shown knowledge, we can't experience it. So it's vital that we always gain this knowledge, so we help you as you help us.
Yeah. Is that why previously in these sessions it has been said you're helping us, but you keep saying we're helping you as well?
That is correct.
And that's hard for us to understand because we feel the beginners and we think
The easiest way to
you're way
say
ahead of
this
us.
is, it's not that we're ahead. We are all the same. We're all one.
Yeah.
But we sense, and by coming to circles like this, you feel.
Okay.
And we don't feel here. We just sense. And it sounds the same, but it's totally different.
All right. Okay.
Because we don't feel pain. We don't know
No.
time. We don't need to eat, whereas you do.
But presumably you need time to recharge your energy, is that right?
No. We have more energy. I can't say than what you will ever know, because you will know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Are you one of our guides, Bradshaw? Or you
No,
just came to this circle?
I'm not a guide as such for
You're
any
not?
individual one of you guys,
Yeah.
but I have worked with
Okay.
a lot of you when you're at a certain energy.
Okay. So what's your role in spirit then currently?
Just to be here for
Oh,
when's needed,
okay.
like everything. All as guides here, hear your prayers, because the prayer sent out is sent to this place. And all we do is listen and answer the prayer, just to bring the balance.
So when I ask for distant healing for others, do you hear it?
We all do,
Okay.
because we're all one. But we actually will help channel that through
Yeah.
to when it's needed for the person that you've named.
Yeah.
And the connection is, what would one say, quicker than the lightning.
Okay. Yeah.
It's that powerful.
Does it actually help? When I offer this for other people, I always like to be received the human Christian name and the surname. Does that make it easier for spirit or quicker to respond, or am I just going over the top?
No. For you to give the full name for you helps you know that you've sent the healing to that person directly. So it is important for
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
For us, symbolically, the soul that you're sending it to is still here connected with us all the time. So we channel that
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
where it's needed.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay. So it's a two-prong attack. Is that what you're saying? I'm going one direction and you're going another.
It's channeling what is needed for the people that are crying out for the help,
Yeah.
for the healing that's required. And because they've spoken out and people are listening, the start of the healing process is there. And what we do is we help attune, align, and help the soul within that vessel to find harmony, balance, love,
Okay.
happiness, everything that's required.
Who decides on the priorities?
There's no priority. You call out the list, we listen,
Okay.
and there's no priority and there's no name. For you are only one small, minute part of the bigger picture,
Yeah.
but the magnitudes and the momentum and the energy for what you do, that little bit of peace, of healing and love sent out, ricochets through everywhere. And that helps us guide and heal the souls within.
Okay. That's presumably on the basis that to get them back on track, they need to be healed. Whereas if it was part of their life plan to experience that discomfort, the decision would be taken, they've chosen to go through that. Is that correct?
You've just answered that yourself,
All right.
because that is correct. The pain suffered,
I have no way of knowing whether what they're asking for, what they're meant to receive. So I try to be careful how I project that.
well, Neil, the beautiful light that's within you, and in your terms, the heartfelt emotions when you're sending the healing,
Yeah.
push through, and your part of that energy is used to help them with
Okay.
their own natural energy. So keep doing what you do.
I'm not really questioning why I do it. I'm just the way to cope with it is to say, right, I'm going to send it forward to them, and what will be, if that makes sense.
Well, what you're doing is working.
Good. Thank you.
but keep adding yourself on that list and use some of that love for yourself, Neil.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Bradshaw, who keeps our guides on track? I know you're going to say we are one, but you are one, but you're also individuals. In personality, anyway.
We all have guides individually.
Yeah,
Individually, yes, we're all connected because we're one. Some people have 2 or 3 guides, and generally you'll find that this will be loved ones that have had an attachment to
yeah,
that soul. It's like soulmates stay together, even though they feel far apart. But when it's guided right and you're in tune with yourself, the senses, the feeling and emotions of the soul, which would be the loved one that has gone, are felt. But everybody and every soul that's within the vessels have all got a guide.
okay,
So that will help them in just ways that's unknown. It's very difficult to explain.
Does that principle ever change in spirit?
For the time I've been here, nothing's changed.
Okay,
Nothing's changed.
as a medium, when we obviously are used to give messages, can you explain the reference to children returning to spirit from, say, the earth plane, still being described as children, even when they may be an old soul returning to its spiritual home?
This is simply the human concept. Or if you lose a person, the mind of the human captures that moment. So you would say
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
picture. And the picture, for the time that they see the person there at that time, is what's in their mind. So whether that
okay,
person becomes 90 or 100 years old, what they see in their mind is still that child, because they don't know what
yeah,
it's grown up to be, what it would look like, or anything. But the
yeah,
soul itself is so old. So it's just a human nature just to be able to, for a medium to be able to help resemble the loved one that's gone
yeah,
through the memories of the person that they're reading to. Sometimes they come through where they are a little bit older and cheekier,
yeah.
and they will relay a message of when they was younger, just to help the person understand who it is.
So that's a way of bringing comfort to that individual, isn't it?
It will bring the comfort that's needed, and at most times
Yeah,
the closure, because people
yeah,
sadly hold on to it for so many years and unfortunately put themselves under so much pressure and sadness that's never needed.
Thank you for saying that. I do feel that, but I'm often in the minority on that one.
Well, you're a wise
How does spirit decide then one can do more harm than good by making a connection, back to a loved one left on the earth plane? What guides some of them to say, I'm not going to make that connection because it's going to do more harm than, for instance?
I understand what you're saying. I think it's difficult because when people pass, it's so hard to learn the energy to be able to connect through. And sometimes you need a certain interpreter medium, as you would call it,
Yeah,
on the same vibration just to help get through. It's not for the person wanting it. The souls, when we've passed, we always put signs in place to show our loved ones that we're there.
yeah,
Unfortunately, because they're not in tune, they don't understand or do that. They sometimes sense and have a gut feeling, and it helps them feel a little bit better within themselves, but they don't understand it. But unfortunately, not every medium has the ability with every soul to relay the message that wants to be put across. So you do
okay,
get a little bit of stuff lost in interpretation. And some people are scared of receiving messages from loved ones. And you will find that will just say, this is a load of rubbish.
yeah. No, I've experienced that.
And deep down they know it's not, but they just want to run. And sometimes it's because hidden dark secrets can be talked about.
Okay. When humans hallucinate, is that caused by an energy overload? Or can it be?
It's just not energy, it's the mind. It's, what would people call? I suppose it's like if you're hypo
Yeah.
and you suffer with anxiety, the chemicals within the mind become unbalanced. So it's very difficult to focus on what is needed. So the mind travels. That's the best way of putting it for an understanding.
Okay.
And unfortunately, when it's gone to a certain stage, it just can't quite focus and remember the input it's received. And that goes back to what I said before. Sometimes we have to trickle the information into a brain because the human brain can't cope with too much information. It will evolve, and it is evolving.
Okay.
I will say mediums.
How does this
Well, I was just going to say, I
go
will
on?
say a medium will only use 2% more of the brain than an average person would. But with that 2% and the knowledge and the ability to connect to us direct, it's amazing just how much of that percentage is.
Yeah, it's quite surprising. How do specific colours that some of the mediums see get assigned or adopted by different spirits? Or are they mood colours of the spirit's energy at any given moment in time? Can they change?
A human would say a colour, but it's just a path, it's a vibration. A human has emotions, and each colour would represent an emotion.
Okay.
It's difficult for humans to understand it, but there's only one light if you've learnt about the colours, but it's like the spectrum which reflects that one light, hence why you get different
Okay.
colours.
Yeah.
If you can understand this and tune into the one light, I would just say welcome home. But the vibration of each one, for the people within themselves, their own ability, is a vibration that they work on. So when they find themselves, their true selves, and understand it, everything's possible, and all the knowledge will be given.
So if you link vibrations to emotions, does that suggest that in spirit carry various emotions with them?
We don't have emotions here. It's the humans that have the emotions, but that unfortunately impacts and stops them from opening up
Yeah.
and fine-tuning to what they need to. So when people let go and believe within themselves, trust within themselves, they'll show more. And if you look at the vast earth as it is, all the billions and billions of people that are on the planet, there's not even 0.1% that can do this. But the
Okay.
ones that can do it, you will see a glow from them. And you will feel the energy from them. And most of these people are like teachers. They absorb the energy from you, and you absorb the energy from them, and it helps you go on the path that's required.
Okay. Is revenge justified? And if not, why not?
Well, it's difficult. If somebody had nicked a bit of metal from me, I'd give them a little bit round the back of the head. And that is well justified. But again, that's just the human nature. But right from wrong, everybody's taught what's right and what's wrong from being young. All humans adapt this, but sadly, it's lost.
Yeah.
But sometimes justice
I mean,
is deserved.
yeah. I mean, should the death penalty still exist on the earth plane for, say, people convicted of murder and taking another life?
It's human instinct. If somebody was to kill somebody in front of you that was your loved one, a child, a wife, you
Yeah.
would automatically, with the emotions inside, just kill them.
Yeah.
It's a natural thing. Even animals do it. If there's a pack of animals and something tries to take one of the pack away,
Yeah.
you will find that they'll work together and eliminate the danger. But sometimes brute strength and the cunning ways of some people's minds means they get away with things that they shouldn't have done.
What advice do you give it to a young soul starting out on its first life in a human vessel? You know, before it leaves spirit, how do you prepare it?
We can only guide it as it grows within the vessel, Neil. When the soul enters the body, the flash of energy and the creation of the living human being that the soul's chosen to adapt to doesn't know nothing. As it grows and it's within tune of the human vessel it's in, it then learns. Some souls learn quickly through guidance and they have the ability to communicate direct. But you find as humans grow, that ability is lost because of the conditioning of the world as it is today. If I was in charge of the world, I would just hit a delete button and start it again. And that would sort out all the problems. But sadly,
Yeah.
the world will carry on evolving as it is, and mankind.
But presumably, historically, there have been times where that decision has been taken.
There's been timestamps in life which have been put there and created for reasons.
Yeah.
And in most cases, it's to stop the humans from killing themselves.
Yeah.
And sadly, it's been done 7 times.
Okay. What do spirit feel are the positives that you're currently seeing? There must be some positives. Law of averages.
The biggest positive is the love. And I can say this, in time you will see people working together as they should be.
Good. Good.
That's what's needed today, but it will come tomorrow.
Why do the elders sometimes decide not to allow answers to be given to some of my questions? You know, and is this form of censorship, maybe with the reason attached?
An elder's job is to make sure that the balance is there, and they know that this is being logged, as one would put it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they can't divulge all the information And they would like to, but unfortunately some people can't accept it.
Yeah, I
And
understand that.
that can bring some heart, we need
Yeah,
harmony, we need balance. And this is what we're trying to do all the time. So if you interrupt that, knock the balance out of the flow, it's very difficult. Black and white, yin and yang, as you know.
out of the two, are they saying they prefer me not to log it, as you put it, or record it?
If you was to ask the questions for yourself, Neil, the answers will be given.
Yeah,
And sometimes you've been given answers and you ask for advice, but it stays within.
yeah, okay.
And
Yeah,
you help pass that knowledge on in your style, which is what's needed.
no, that's fine. That's fine. I accept that. I mean, I'm not being disrespectful because I see reasons sometimes why they don't want to answer.
I would say it's
Because,
probably probing just a little too deep.
yeah, okay.
But
Yep.
knowledge and some of the answers you seek and other questions people ask is what they need. But again, if they ask in a certain way, the answers will come to them. Because some people just need that one answer for themselves, not everybody.
Yeah, no,
That's
agreed.
why we guide and help people the way we do.
Okay, thank you for your honesty. Is learning to love one person unconditionally a first step to loving everything in a human vessel?
The human vessel, when it's born, is loved. It feels that love. As it grows, it shows that love with laughter, with smiles. And the love for each other, and the kisses, the cuddles, all the things even I remember when I was on Earth. It's just what's needed. It's like a protection. And when you feel loved, you feel protected, you feel safe. And over time, sadly, it's a little bit lost. And some people, like you say, would love another human. And that love goes on for many years. And people capture many moments and pictures and photos, and their families grow. But the lovely thing about it is the cycle of their children and the love that continues to flow through is what it is. The connection is what it's all about. But one human can love millions, or one human can just love one. But it's what they choose to do.
Yeah,
But every human, with every family they have, they love all their family.
yeah, okay.
So through loving one, we'll always love many.
Okay,
And that's eternal, Neil.
okay. What benefit does a spirit get from taking a life in an animal or an organism who is just here to be part of the food chain?
It's the circle of life. It's the experience of a soul to go into would you say? A cow?
Yeah.
Two types of cow? One you can eat, one you can milk.
Yeah.
Every creature has its purpose, and that's why they're here for. It's people, as they grow, get emotions. But years and years ago, like us, we'd have a few chickens, we'd have eggs from it, we'd then eat it. Once we fed it a little bit and plumped it up, but then you'd go and buy another chicken. But unfortunately, people get attached, and it's the attachment that's changed with people. But everything has a purpose. And if you even look at the animal kingdom as it is, they haven't changed because the emotions and the design of them are carried through the generations, and they are just the same as what they were 5,000 years ago. But the humans unfortunately evolve and change because it's what they learn and what's expected from them.
But presumably that evolving has come from spirit who've taken a decision to create that change.
It's not all from spirit. It's just
Okay.
I'm being shown like this. A child today would be born and expected to be out of these things that they wear for weeing. I don't know what they call these things. And then they grow, and then they're expected to eat but use knife and forks. Then they're expected to go to a school, and then they're expected to work, and it's all done by an age, by a certain level. Whereas when we had our families back in the day, we just loved them, supported them, and then they just helped you. So we lived, and we learnt to love and live.
Yeah.
We did have taxes and money we had to spend to live, but there wasn't the greed as there is today. We all had our own horses, our own growing vegetable patches, and in the community we'd all just help each other out and grow these. It's like a little hub. We'd all go to church because that was everyone's home. I never used to go to pray for one. I just used to go because I used to love talking to the locals.
Yeah.
And obviously try and pull up a little bit more business. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But the main thing is just being within people that are around you that love you. Just makes every day that little bit better.
Okay. I can't argue with that. How should we switch on our own light? How should we come to understand ourselves better?
Trust. Believe in yourself. And take it from the heart and the soul and the mind. Once they're all in line, the possibilities for you and everyone is limitless.
Do storms also clear the air spiritually? It's a saying we have, as you know.
Well, a storm will help clear the air on the earth plane, but we are clear all the time, and a connection is always there.
Yeah.
The storm is what you would see. We don't see the storm as like you do. But the energy from a storm just changes the ambience of the person's mind. And I suppose that within itself helps people focus, which would obviously help them feel they're in a place where they connect better.
So could it be argued that that's managed from spirit in a roundabout way?
I wouldn't say so.
No.
No. That's just the human mind. Because it's the thought and the process of the human mind. It's not connecting through the spirit side of things within.
I have another saying, but as a spirit, do you ever dance with wolves?
The animal kingdom and the connection we have. You could call it a dance. It's just part of a natural thing where all the souls of all the giants come together as one, which we are, but their energy from different souls helps keep things clear, which puts even a balance here. And if you look within your soul and everybody, you'll find that you're pulled to a certain animal. So everybody has their own animal within themselves. If they look a little deeper, they'll see that. And that's what gives them courage and strength, hope and love.
What would you describe as an excessive nature in humans? Maybe too excessive.
Ego. Changes the way people think. Changes the attitude of a person. And sometimes it gets so over the top and excessive with it. They use an ego to hide. And sadly they feel that it's a strength, but it's a big weakness.
Okay.
And when they find that out, usually it's too late, and they find that things around them are falling apart. Some people you would say are jammy and seem to just get away with things all the time. But they always come a cropper. They call it karma. What goes around does come around.
Yeah.
And sadly, sometimes it doesn't affect them, but it does affect their families. But if they've passed, they see that.
Do they learn from that when they see it?
It's all part of the journey to
Okay.
learn.
As a human, if we focus too much on our links to spirit, can it detract from our actual planned life experience, or is it meant to be?
If you're at one with yourself, you don't need to focus. A lot of people use this phase of calling it focus, and unfortunately that blocks them
Yeah,
because they try to focus when it's already there. So all I would say for most people is if you have that intuition, whether it's in the mind, the gut, or from what you would feel is your soul, just go with it. Say what you sense, see or feel at that time,
yeah,
because it's just the pure light and answers and everything that you would say is correct. But if you automatically focus on that, put a block in the way, and things become harder. But it's just a human way.
okay.
But you can learn over time how to just be true to yourself and open up.
Right, Bradshaw. In what's happening in our world at the moment, is it better not to tune into the news? Is it better to remain ignorant?
For while there's man on the world, there will always be wars.
Yeah,
There will always be right and wrong. There'll always be greed, hate around what you're talking about at the moment.
yeah,
If you're empathic about these things, it's best not to switch the news on because you pull in all that negative energy.
yeah,
Find it hard to turn it away and switch off from it. But some people are interested in it, so they listen to it. And yes, it's horrible to see people lose their lives in flocks of thousands or hundreds. But again, at that time, and in some places, it's just meant to be. It's a path that's been chosen. It seems wrong because you've been taught it's wrong. But again, the human race just learns from these mistakes and in time unite.
yeah,
And then sadly, you'll find that somewhere else within the globe and the planet, it happens again. It's happened from the days of people just chucking stones before weapons were invented. And it will happen for many, many years to come. Because some people think they're right, some people will think they're wrong. Just the human nature.
But presumably there are some causes where, let me just say, responsible human beings should fight back physically or verbally.
Again, if it's to protect your loved ones, from what I was saying
Yeah,
earlier,
yeah,
you will do what is needed to protect
yeah,
what you love. And everybody from their own individual country loves that country. So the true spirit within inside will fight for what they feel is right.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
I hope that answers that for you.
Yeah, it does, thank you. I don't think things can be cut and dried, to be honest, that's all I'm saying.
No,
Our problem is on the wars that go on in other nations. We all think we know who's out of order and who isn't, but we probably don't know half of it, do we?
there's been tribes that have been fighting for absolutely centuries
Yeah,
and centuries and centuries, and they will never stop fighting. It's just the way. But sometimes, because it's so small, you don't hear about it, you don't know. Media today are the biggest culprit in pushing people into what they want to see for other people's gains,
yeah,
which makes it for some people a sad world,
yeah, I agree.
but it is a beautiful world. You should be
Well,
loved by
that's how
everyone.
I see it. Yeah, that's how I see it. So. Has the COVID virus now peaked and become just another virus we have to get used to?
The COVID virus is just a beginning of different viruses that will come.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
As humans evolve over time, viruses will evolve. And yes, there are losses through sometimes when they evolve a little bit too much, these viruses. But the humans themselves will always find a way. And there's so many more viruses that come in time. And there's been so many viruses in the past. But again, it comes to resetting things a little bit.
A bit of a community question, but how many times has Ethos got into trouble, or is that just a mechanism for him to build a relationship with us?
Ethos is a funny, funny, funny soul. I would represent him as a clown. But his purpose of bringing the joy and laughter is what he's all about. And the expectation for him to pop up from time to time is there. And just that thought, when he comes through, just gives people's lights a little bit of an extra glow. And that's the magic of Ethos.
I mean, many clowns in life are actually very intelligent. That's
He's
my
very
understanding.
intelligent soul.
You know,
He's one that will guide all of us. And sometimes you'll even find that you will just burst out laughing for no reason.
yeah.
And he's the main culprit behind that.
I wouldn't call him a culprit. I would think he's helping that way.
He has his ways,
Yeah.
but he is a beautiful soul. And he just guides so many, many people like we all do.
Can we as humans ever ask for a portal be opened up for us to ever use? Or is that out of
Yes,
the question?
yes. most of the time it's asked for a specific reason. And if it's time for the reason to be helped with, find the portals will open. It's like the old saying, if you never ask, you never get.
I mean, previously we were told before that if we went through a portal, we wouldn't be allowed back. Is that still true?
A lot of people go through portals on a crossing of their end of life on earth as they know it.
Okay, fair enough. That makes
But
sense.
you've been through a portal, Neil. You've experienced things. Even though you don't understand it, but you coming back to where you are now has helped you on the journey that you've been through, for some of
Yeah.
the pain, the loss and the suffering that you've mentally been through yourself. And by trusting yourself, a lot of the answers that you've been seeking over the last few years have come true, have shown you the way, and put you on the path that you're on now,
Yeah.
which was always meant to be.
Do we really need excitement in our lives? And if so, how do we find it? Something that's meaningful.
Everybody needs excitement. Everybody gets excitement. Sometimes it's just for a little kiss, or knowing you'll have a favourite beer, or watching something that you enjoy. But sometimes you take that little excitement of something that you enjoy because you're so used to it. But most people only do things in life because they enjoy them, from taking pictures to drawing, or even just eating simple things like food. It does give people pleasure, even though sometimes it just feels like a chore.
Okay. Bradshaw, a question from Adrian, please.
Yes.
He's obviously very puzzled. He doesn't understand why he cannot connect tonight, and he feels blocked in his connection. Is there a special reason for that?
Sadly for Adrian, he has a lot of troubles on his mind. He's a private man, and he opens up to a few, but not many. And I think that sometimes the little bit of sadness that's within him is blocking him from his true potential. But also, it's a protection mode which is within him, because like everything for him, he does things when it feels right and when he's ready. I feel a lot of pressure on him because he carries a lot of burdens for everyone around him. He's a very sensitive soul within him. And he just needs to open up and just love himself a little bit more. Because that's what he's missing, the love. you can see that he does so much for so many people and never asks for anything in return. And unfortunately, he doesn't get much in return. He pumps out a lot of positivity that takes a lot of negativity. So he just needs to breathe, step back, keep trusting. Things will fall in place very shortly, which will bring a little bit of heartache around him. But it will let him move forward to where he needs to be. Just trust Adrian. And sometimes do talk to people. You have a good group of people around you, and you know who you can trust. That's all the advice I can give Adrian.
Thank you for that. He will hear that if he hasn't heard it already. But I feel he's heard it already.
I feel I'm going to go now, Neil.
All right, Bradshaw, thank you very much. I really have appreciated our conversation tonight. So,
Thank you for your ways and
and
this circle. It is beautiful, heartfelt and pure. And all the souls, spirits here, we just love it and love what you do, each and every one of you. I bid you all a good night.
again, safe journey back. Thank you. Time for us now to finish today's question and answer session. We would like to thank Spirit for being here to guide us and working directly with us. That includes our personal guides and 4 additional advisors that have joined us here today to give us benefit of their wisdom. Thank you so much for your continued support, which we all fully appreciate and value. We do look forward to linking up again with you next time. Before we close the link, we hope you don't mind us spending a few minutes of our time exploring our personal direct links with Spirit. 2 to 3 minutes until I call you back into the room, everyone. Time now to refocus on your crown chakras, please. And as and when you have, close it down to break your link with spirit. Move any residual energy you don't need down from your crown chakra to your brow chakra. Then take it onto your throat chakra and further down to your heart chakra. Carry on down to your solar plexus chakra and to your sacral chakra. And down to your root chakra. Allow this surplus energy to move down through your legs and body to your feet. And ground yourself on Mother Earth, please. When you are sufficiently grounded and in your own time, gently and slowly, bring your attention back into the room. So before I stop the recording, Pam, your eyes, do you have anything you'd like to say to camera?
I do, thank you. And that spirit took me on a journey over to Saturn, and we actually went around the rings of Saturn, and then and showed me the rest of our solar system. And the message I was given is there is still so much to learn about Earth first. Then we can learn more about our solar system before exploring beyond. And the main one is please stop rushing around. Look at what's around you and enjoy it. So thank you.
Thank you for that, Pam. On that note, I'll stop the recording now. Thank you.